Timer. Players, welcome to round 1. You have 50 minutes. You may begin.
Yeah, but we can resolve.
Hello, good morning.
I'm gonna keep.
Oops. Should be audible now. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to our Haarlem Magic Nights Invitational. We got 7 rounds of Legacy today, with maybe a couple extra games in between. We'll have to see how things play out. You heard Justin already, but I'll introduce him again.
Hello, good morning again. I think Rob's mic was muted for a bit there.
Yeah,
But,
I accidentally.
we're live now.
I muted myself by accident. I do that sometimes. It's fine. Trying to get things set up here. It's a bit of an unusual setup for me, so if there's anything needs to be changed, let me know. I think my volume might be a bit loud in comparison to Justin, so I'll adjust it a bit. We're also trying out. Hopefully, the players aren't able to hear me. But if they are, then Justin will be able to take over for me as much as possible.
Yeah, I think Roald will intervene if that's the case. So for our first matchup, we have Doomsday versus Devon, Texas.
Yeah, this
Um,
this might be a
I think it's
fast matchup.
yeah. I think it's interesting to mention that this tournament is open deck lists, so both players know what they're up against. And yeah, like you said, it might be over soon, because Doomsday is obviously the aggressor in this matchup.
Yeah. To be honest, like Devon Texas isn't completely helpless here, right? Like they do have some interaction, just not a lot relevant. Well,
I think most is insignificant, but yeah, there are some things that they can do probably. And it's also we didn't see it by the hand that Marat showed on the stream. But Marat's Doomsday list is actually the one that Mark Tobias played on Eternal Weekend. So it's the 4-color with the 1 ring and Teferi. So it's not a turbo list with personal tutor and stuff like that. It's basically, well, some people like to call it Esper control with an accidental Doomsday finish.
right.
I think it's still pretty much of a Doomsday deck. Yeah.
You still have just the turn 1 Doomsday and try and put somebody in a tiny little box.
Yeah, you can still definitely do that, and if you can't, turn 1, the 1 ring is also pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looked like Mark was on the play, which is, I think, something that goes a long way for him.
Yeah, agree. That should definitely help him out. Also, I was thinking, Doomsday already plays like not that many basics, right? So
No.
splashing a third color splashing a third color just makes you even weaker to Wasteland, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think there's still 1 island in the deck. Let me check.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and regularly Doomsday also plays just 1 island. Sometimes they play a swamp as well, but usually just 1 island. And there's a little more diversification in the duels. There's also 3 Lorien revealed in the deck. So I don't think the deck is that weak to it. Traditionally, there is a trick out of decks like Death and Text that you can do post Doomsday, and that is to Wasteland the Underground Sea and Surgical it. I don't think that's really relevant in this specific deck. because there are so many different duels.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What was just played?
I think that is a Thalia.
You're
Yeah,
probably right.
I think that's one of the other versions. Oh, it's actually this
Huh.
version. I think. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool card.
Yeah, we've had a couple of reprints of the card in recent years. Surprisingly, because
Yeah.
well, as far as I know, she only still sees play in Legacy,
Oof.
maybe Vintage.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that much about Modern, but yeah, this is starting to look pretty bad for Marat. I mean, Thalia Texas is basically every card that's in his deck. Spirit also, well, not amazing.
Yeah, and I think if Mark is gonna win this, this is how. It's just pressure the mana total, and just keep pressuring that way.
Yeah, I mean, Spirit of the Labyrinth basically turns off the One Ring and Vials post Doomsday that have a lot of cyclers in them. But I think the Spirit is still in the stack, and Marat is brainstorming in response, maybe looking for a Force of Will. But he can't cast it anyway, so I don't know, maybe drawing cards while you can, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And looks like he's finding more lands and Lorien revealed, which is basically a land.
Yeah, Lord and Revealed is a really interesting card that's kind of taken over the format.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even in my software yet. Let me update that real quick. But yeah, it's pretty much a blue fetch for all these legacy decks that
Yes.
just need a blue fetch. Yeah, just a fetch that pitches the Force of Will. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say it. I think I might have spoken too soon when I said that this match was gonna be over soon, and in favor of Doomsday, because I really like Mark's position here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. Like, Mark has so much disruption that it's really hard for Marat to get anything done, let alone his combo.
Yeah, and since this is open deck list, I think Mark decided to keep his hand based on that information. I think that is like a huge advantage for Mark.
Yeah. Also, just not being able to draw cards here, like, you're just sitting there at the mercy of just being able to draw what you need here naturally. Like, there's not a lot of removal spells for Marat here, right?
I think there is like it's very free in the main deck.
Yeah.
And maybe some amount of sword splashers, but I don't think so. No, not in the main deck. No, I think the three of the fairy are the only only removal spells, like removal.
Yeah, that's also not ideal.
No. Now, if you're Marat here, what are you hoping to draw?
Teferi, just a natural Doomsday.
Yeah, I think the fairy is already in hand.
Oh yeah, I saw the Teferi. He definitely has that.
I will cast Edge of Autumn.
He's going to cast Edge of Autumn.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That seems. Oof. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
It's well, he has exactly the one island for this.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it's looking to get the one ring down, draw a card in Mark's turn, and I hope to, I don't know, do something, I guess. But I think the damage is already done and the pressure is too much because Doomsday also makes you lose like half your life, and yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
this looks pretty bad.
okay, that's not the best version of the One Ring I could have had. Um, yeah, but the
How's your
one
black speech?
the One Ring is like it's still gonna draw cards, I guess. It's not as much as you realistically like with the Spirit of Labyrinth in play, but it's still something. Like you have to do something at this point.
Yeah, that's true, and it also stems the bleeding for a turn. But there is no Doomsday. Yeah, I think it will come down right now. Like every swing from Mark is lethal right now. So yeah, I don't really see this going well for Marat.
Thinking, yeah, you can play it to Fairy, then go to 1, I guess, if you bounce the Spirit.
Yeah,
The One Ring.
You can play
yeah.
the ring just for the protection.
Yeah. Well, it still makes me think. What's the next step?
Protection trigger.
Yeah, where do we go from here?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Marat is not taking damage this turn. Can draw a card, but then he goes 4 in his upkeep because the one ring trigger. And then what? The pressure's still there. Wow, I really did not expect this game to turn out like this.
And this is without Wasteland. Imagine if Mark drew like 1 or 2 Wastelands and then pressured the mana base even more.
Oof. Yeah.
Actually, maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe it's not pressuring the mana base. Maybe it's just pressuring everything else. Get a draw for the ring here. And we go to 4.
Yeah.
So now we are actually dead on board. We need something.
Now what?
We get a cycle of DeLorean revealed.
Yeah, what does that do? Is there a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck? I don't think so. No. This is not a deck for Mystic Sanctuary.
There it is. Is there a Mystic Sanctuary?
No, there's not.
No.
I think, yeah, Marat has 3 black right now. I think there's a Scrubland somewhere. But he can cast Doomsday and go to 2, and then what?
And then die.
Yeah.
He does. He finds the second Doomsday. Like, you could play the second ring and then do nothing as well. So, yeah, no, that's just not gonna work.
That's all she wrote. So for sideboarding, what do we have on either player's side?
Let's see.
There's some removal in Marat. You want to start with Marat or with Mark?
Yeah. I wanted to start with Marat because I think he's facing the most uphill battle here. Like looking at that game, but also looking at his sideboard, he has 2 prismatic ending.
Yeah, 2 prismatic ending, 3 swords of plowshares.
Maybe 2 Thoughtseize, but I'm not sure about that one.
I don't think that's what you want to be doing in a matchup like this.
Yeah.
I think you want to be jamming as fast as possible, but I'm not sure. I'm by no means an expert Doomsday player.
Agree. Maybe you pivot into Sholdred?
Yeah, I think Shouldered's mostly for blue matchups.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, there Let's take a look at Mark's list for a second, because I think there is more removal for Shieldred in Mark's deck than he could possibly board out.
True, but he is gonna board out removal, right?
I would.
And the Skyclave apparitions also go for the One Ring, so there is.
Yeah, they take out the One Ring, they take out the Fairy, they take out. Well, I think Skyclave is still pretty good.
Yeah, the Skyclave definitely stays in. Now, I was thinking, like, if Mark just goes pure Skyclave and then takes out the Swords to Plowshares, the... Actually,
There's actually just one Solitude in there.
Yeah, that's also really interesting. But, like, let's say he takes out the dedicated creature hate and just keeps the things that also hit the ring and the Teferi. Like, now Shieldred actually might be kind of a nice way to maybe stabilize, maybe even push through.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to mention that Mark is on a mono white list of Death in Texas, 60 cards. I think that's pretty old school.
Yeah, Mark is an old school Death in Texas kind of player, for sure.
I see. Well, he made the right decisions in his mulligan decisions for the first game. It looked like so. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark knows his deck. He's probably the player at this tournament who knows his deck the best.
That's cool.
Marat, as far as I know, he has some practice, but he's not the most practiced Doomsday player. For sure, Marat's a very flexible player in that regard.
Yeah, Doomsday is not an easy deck.
No, for sure.
I'm sure. I don't know how much experience Marat has with the deck, but if you're just picking it up, there's many different lines that you can take in a lot of positions. Mulligan decisions are really harder than they look. And pile building, especially with this 4-color version with the fairies and the One Rings, it's not that easy as it looks.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, it doesn't even look easy, so I don't know.
I mean, he's at least practiced enough to where he says, "Hey, I'm gonna play this at a tournament, with invites to the European Legacy Masters on the line." So,
yeah, let's take a look at Mark's sideboard. There's 2 Deafening Silence, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Surgical Extraction, Path to Exile, 2 Rest in Peace, a Council's Judgment, 2 Cataclysm, 2 Mindbreak Trap, a Solitude, and the Battle of Bywater. I think that's a sweeper, isn't it?
So that's a good question. Let me check.
Can we bring that card up on screen? It's also a Lord of the Rings card.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the sweeper for big creatures.
Right. Yeah.
And then you get a food.
Cool.
It's a really sweet card. In Mark's deck, it's mostly just a one-sided board wipe. Not entirely, because he is playing Solitudes and Flicker Wisps, but I think you can justify losing those for just killing everything except your Thalias, your Mother of Runes, your every. It's a really good card. Not that good in this matchup, I imagine.
No, definitely not. No, it's mainly interesting that the card is in the deck, not for this matchup. But it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
Looking at Mark's sideboard, Deafening Silence might be a good one. Again, as kind of a stopgap, just pumping the brakes a little, because anything helps at this point.
Yeah, I think Mark needs to buy time, then put pressure in hate pairs like he did last game.
I also don't hate Mindbreak Trap being brought in.
No, me neither. There's many different piles that Doomsday players can make that are really kind of stormy in the turn that they win. And Mindbreak Trap plays around stuff like Cavern of Souls. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. It takes Fast Oracle off the stack. I also really like Surgical Extraction because it kind of works in conjunction with Wasteland. Well, not as much in this iteration of the deck, like I mentioned in the first game. But it also shuffles the Doomsday pile and can really mess up the way they want to sequence things.
Yeah. So, like, if Marat knows the matchup, oh, I mean, he doesn't need to know the matchup, really, right? It's open deck list, so I assume that he knows that Mindbreak Trapper's coming in, so he's just gonna have to play around it if he can.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Mark is taking a mulligan and Marat gets his You're just asking if it's possible to show the sideboards of the players. Can we do that? During sideboarding, of course.
Not during this match. I'll look into maybe doing it for the rest of the tournament, but no guarantees on that. But I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Looks like Marat get another Esper control hand. Island Ponder Keep kind of thing.
I think Marat went to 6, and Mark is now going to 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it.
A turn 1 ponder.
Yes.
Ik ga mezelf e-mailen en een land uit mijn bak halen als het is. En ik wil graag die stukken.
Of an island. Respecting the wasteland.
I mean, you have to, right?
I like that. Yes. Well, I don't really recall Marat's hand, but I think I remember there wasn't any other land in it. Oh, there's a Lorien revealed. Never mind.
I think there might have also been a Lorien revealed in hand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
I meant in hand, and there's another
yeah.
one after Ponder, indeed. Yeah.
Fair enough. But gonna shuffle the ponder, like Lorien revealed and to Street Wraith, not the
No.
the best of.
That's not where you want to be.
And given he already used his mana, he has no shuffle. So if he didn't shuffle off the ponder, he would have to keep at least 2 of those cards, and that's not ideal.
No.
Looks
There's
like
a Teferi.
the fairy.
So that there. Yeah, that's the good old shuffle bug debunked for you.
No, it's definitely a shuffle bug. Shuffle bug is real.
Oh. Yeah. I agree. There's a daze on the Aether vial. That's I like that.
Yeah.
There is our good friend Thalia again. It looks like. Or
Yep.
well, good friend. Depends on which side of this playmat you are, I guess.
I'm thinking I never play decks that want to see Thalia, like never. So no,
I am personally I'm famous for being a Devon, Texas lover.
Are you though?
No, I hate that deck.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
you can get a
it's-
scrubland. No, not with the Lorien revealed.
Thank God you're a hater.
Yeah.
I was getting scared. I was
respect
gonna
it.
have to do 6 rounds by myself.
Yeah,
so,
No. I respect the deck, but yeah, just I usually joke that I don't understand why anyone would want to play mono white control in a format where you can do basically anything. But yeah, I think the deck has a lot of interesting play patterns, and yeah.
It's like the de facto, I don't know what this does, but it wins somehow deck, right?
Yes. I don't think I would win any games with that Texas though.
I wonder how the deck construction for this deck went. because it's such an old deck.
Yeah.
And at some point, somebody decided, you know what,
Oof.
these cards fit together.
Yeah. I think we're getting a brainstorm in response to this. Oh, at least floating mana.
I mean, now's the time,
Yeah.
right? And if we, looks like we still have the Lorien revealed, so
Yeah, we can. Do we though?
right?
I
Where's
don't
that?
think so. I think there's
Oh
very
no,
possible underground sea brainstorm and polluted delta in hand.
we
Right
used
now.
that one for the tundra. Right.
We have to put something back though.
You see, we don't get a
Yeah.
shuffle here.
Yeah. I'd have to draw another card at least. I think getting back to your question, I am by no means a legacy historian or whatever. In fact, I don't even play that long. But I would assume that Devon, Texas is some kind of evolution from some mono white weenie or something.
That might be a good assumption. Then at some point, just somebody focused on the disruption side more than the actual just play creature. I mean, taking the unfair side is usually the correct side. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're allowed to do unfair stuff, then it's very, very hard to say no to that, I think.
yeah, for sure.
But Death and Texas players are a different breed.
Yeah, it's a fascinating deck. At the very least, it's fascinating.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then again, so is Doomsday. Like, but Doomsday is more about who thought up the card.
Yeah, I think Doomsday's been around for a very long time, and before Thassa's Oracle was printed, I think it was a lot of a big meme. They were playing. It was basically Doomsday Storm with tendrils or something. Doomsday Fetch Lands Tendrils, and it was called DDFT. Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Doomsday. I think it was a Cataclysm list where somebody had made the deck so that both players had everything in exile.
Am I allowed to say what the fuck, or are children watching?
I mean, you could feel it for sure, but yeah, it was a weird ass list. It's like it was the kind of deck that you would have to be a judge to think of and to actually play.
Yeah. Speaking of different breeds, there are judges too. Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, I just love that kind of innovation, and yeah, Doomsday is very yeah, it's also evolved. Like this iteration that Marat's playing, that was of course made famous in the last couple of weeks by Mark Tobias showing in both Europe and Asia Eternal weekends. And traditionally it's a blue-black, sometimes flashing, some color turbo Dasein deck, basically. I love it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, like Thassa's Oracle is also an interesting card, and I remember when the card first came out and people realized that it was just a natural fit for Doomsday, that there was a lot of complaining about how it made Doomsday like almost too easy.
God knows I hated that card when it was printed. Yes.
I mean, I still hate it because yeah, like they were right. Thassa's Oracle makes a lot of these decks just too easy.
Yeah. To be fair, whenever I put Thassa's Oracle on the stack, I kind of feel like a dumbass. It's just Oh, so Skyglaive Apparition, is that resolving? That would be interesting. I think Marat's opportunity to Doomsday would be next turn. And if the Skyclave apparition takes Lotus Petal, which is correct in this particular board state,
Is it?
and
Wouldn't you take
yeah,
the?
I think so. Yeah, I think the Lotus Petal is correct because it takes Marat off triple black, and there's Doomsday on top of the deck. Of course, Mark doesn't know that, but yeah, now Marat is able to
Right.
play the Doomsday.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you play Doomsday and you don't, yeah, you don't really need the Lion Side Diamond, I guess.
No, Lions. Yeah, well, maybe. Lion Side Diamond is basically there for the fast piles, usually in conjunction with there's Doomsday, in conjunction with either cyclers like Street Wraith or Edge of Autumn, and or Consider. Well, I don't really know what kind of pile Marat intends to play right here. You gotta take into account the pressure that's on the board. You're dead in 2 turns.
True. I mean,
and-
you're not doing it anymore this turn, right? Like you have to untap.
Oh no! It's not possible to win this turn. No. No, you have to pass at least once. You can't pass twice, so he has to come up with a pile that wins next turn. And I think you have to do that with cyclers and Unshaper and Lion Side Diamond.
Yeah. Well, you can't pass twice, assuming Mark attacks with Mother of Runes. Because if Mark attacks with Mother of Runes, maybe you sneak in a removal spell there.
Yeah. Well, I think Marat can actually win on the next turn. So if I were Marat, I wouldn't do that. But you have to take into account that it's possible that Mark has either Wasteland or Mindbreak Trap. So yeah, this is weird. If you have to choose, if you're Marat here, you have to choose to play around 1 or maybe 2 of 3 possible hate things, or maybe 4. I mean, there's Wasteland that really makes things more difficult. Then there's Surgical. There is.
Well, is there Surgical?
I don't know if Mark voted it in, but it's a possibility. I would take it into account if I were Marat.
No, wait. No, Surgical doesn't do anything because Marat doesn't have a graveyard.
Doomsday is in the graveyard.
Oh yeah, just to get the shuffle in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Just
that's
to
fair.
fuck up the pile and then attack twice. I think that's a valid strategy. So there is Surgical, there is Mindbreak Trap, there is Removal if you want to go for a pile that has cards in it that you have to take into account, and of course Mindbreak Trap. So you can't play. I don't think there's any way to play around all 4 of these things. And you have to go fast. So.
Well, I mean, if you could play around all of those things, then I don't think Doomsday would still be legal.
No, I don't think that's possible, and I'm really curious to see what Marat comes up with.
Yeah. Didn't quite catch what he put in his deck, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, me neither. I was too busy rambling on about piles, so.
Well, we're gonna see. This is what Marat has. Mark
Looks
is
like
gonna
Mark
attack.
Is holding Stoneforge Mystic, Flicker Wisp, and something. Like another Thalia?
I think it's another Thalia, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Attacking with both creatures. So to keep the pressure on. So now boarding, yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Marat came up with, if he can win this turn. There's the Cycler. Yeah, I think he's going for the Consider pile. like cycle Edge of Autumn, hold priority to crack Lion Side Diamond for 3 blue mana, draw Consider, play Consider, draw another Cycler into Thassa's Oracle, something like that.
Yeah, because like, he definitely needs the Lion's Eye Diamond mana here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is interesting because we mentioned that maybe Lion's Eye Diamond wasn't the pick, but maybe in the end it was. Because again,
Right,
you're so squeezed on mana already.
Oh, that's interesting. There's another Edge of... I didn't notice that in the deck list. There's 2 Edge of Autumns in there.
Wait, there are?
Yes, there are. Yeah, it's in the deck list. And in Marat's hand, so yeah, the deck list is legal,
Oh.
I guess. So yeah, so it's not exactly the Eternal Weekend list. There was only 1 Edge of Autumn in that list. So what do you do here? There should be Consider in here then, I guess. Ponder. And then cycling and then cracking lines. Oh, that's cool. So now you essentially draw 2 cards. So there's 3 cards left in.
Well, there's 2 cards left in his deck.
2 cards. Okay, so it's Street Wraith and oh no. What? Street Wraith and
draw the last one.
Oh, I thought there was no Thassa's Oracle in there.
And
yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That was a really tight game though.
Yeah. Interesting pile by Marat.
Also, interestingly, we assumed that this was gonna be a fast game, but this is anything but fast.
Yeah, well, yeah. I admitted it, and I will admit it again. I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't expect it to be this close either. Like, I figured it was going to be really heavy one way or the other, but this looks really close.
Let's make changes in the sideboard. I'm curious to see what the changes are.
It looks like he's maybe bringing in his rings again?
Huh. Days goes out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's signing out Days for the game on the draw.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I don't know if I would do that, but yeah, I don't really know how this deck plays.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Doomsday either, but it makes sense. Like it's something you'd see from Delver or something.
Yeah, I mean, the most important threats from the Nexus side are coming down in the first 2 or 3 turns, so Days might have value there. But I don't know how fast you want to go with this Doomsday deck, or how fast you can go. So we have a question in the chat. Someone's pointing out that the score.
Yeah.
Well,
If it should
I think
have
it was an
gone
0-1, but
yeah, it was 0-1 and it went to 1-1. Mark won game 1, Marat won game 2.
Yeah, we're in here for game 3. Don't you love it?
Yeah, it's really surprising. I didn't expect it to be this close.
Me neither.
So we got kind of lucky on the table selection, I guess. Because we had a couple of other options. We could have had a Cloud Post against Paradoxical Outcome. Now I think that one is a lot more one-sided towards PO probably.
But we expected that to be. We expected this to be one-sided as well, so.
True.
Could still be interesting. Yeah.
And the other option we had was initiative against bug beans, which
Well, that could be interesting.
yeah, that could have been
What
pretty fun as
beans?
well.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of sweet decks.
Okay, so here is the deafening silence that you predicted. Rod seems to be okay with that.
Yeah, and this is where the Lotus Petals just hurt you so much. It's just because either you're paying mana for Lotus Petals, or it's your only spell for the turn, or
Yes. Well, it does seem like there is a turn to Doomsday coming for Marat. Oh, possibly, please. Spirit of the Labyrinth being forced.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Like we saw game one, what the Spirit of the Labyrinth does in this matchup, and it's not pretty. I can tell you that much.
No. And it's also a lot of pressure because it has 3 power.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't seem like a lot, but Doomsday eats up half your life, so
Yeah, when that
It
3-1 is essentially just a 6-1 because you're
Yes.
playing Doomsday, that's a lot
Yeah.
scarier.
there is again Lion's Eye Diamond in hand. I don't know if Marat's too happy about that. I wonder what that scribble on the card is. On the Lion's Eye Diamond. Looks like there is a light plate on it or something. I'm not sure though. Could be a signature, but I know it's not the artist's signature.
Not sure. I can't make it out.
So we are looking at a Doomsday here on turn number 2. Bunch of cyclers and a fastest oracle. That makes sense. Marat's got some lands in hand, I think. So he's looking to win on the next turn.
I mean, you have a bit of an opening here, so you can definitely try. If you can
Yeah.
do it through Deafening Silence, then that definitely helps as well.
He's got only fetch lands, I think. So this pile would expose him to wasteland. I would assume. Looks like there is a polluted delta, a flooded strand, and a Lorien force of will. No, Lion's Eye Diamond in hand. Come around. So wasteland would be backbreaking here.
Yeah, he didn't put a land in his pile, right?
No.
No.
Two Street Breast, 2 Edge of Autumns, and a Thessus Oracle. And
So
Mark just drew a Rishidan Port. And he's got Surgical. That's nasty stuff. Oh, Marat's got Lion's Eye Diamond.
On the
So it doesn't
on the
matter.
one hand, the shuffle might not even end up mattering because
No.
Marcus isn't doing anything. Like Marat can just start drawing and he's
Yeah.
he's fine.
Yes. And he's got Lion's Eye Diamond, so it's just drawing right now, playing out the Lion's Eye Diamond, passing the turn again. And then next turn, I guess he's going for it. So now we know. Yes. Interestingly, playing the Surgical before porting. That's... Yeah. Curious to see how this plays out.
And we get a shuffle.
Yeah, shuffling 5 cards is difficult.
And Mark pretty much knows that Marat isn't doing anything, but neither is Mark. So
Yeah.
looks like Edge of Autumn was the top
Yeah.
card.
Yes. Marat should be playing out the lion side diamond right now, I think.
Should he, or should he play around the Skyclave apparition?
Well, he can't. Because he will be boarded every turn right now, I think. Oh, he's playing out the Polluted Delta, which is interesting because Mark knows exactly what's in his deck and is in his hand, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, he can know what's exactly in the deck. Oh no, he knows exactly what's in the deck because of the surgical. Yeah. I remember how magic cards work. Chat, don't worry.
Yeah. Now you have to play out the Alliance at Iron because oh no, Deafening Silence. Does it say non-creature or I don't really remember that card. I don't know magic cards apparently.
Yeah, Deafening Silence is non-creature, so you get
Jesus, what's that
spell.
version?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know either.
no, then you definitely keep it in hand, I think. Yeah, this looks like it's in the pocket for Marat. I think.
Yeah, and I think it just comes down to a lack of pressure.
Yeah.
Like, I have
Mark
no
had
idea
hate, but
Sorry?
yeah, Mark had hate cards, but just not the right ones.
Yeah.
It looks like it drew another Deafening Silence. Spirit of the Labyrinth would be really good here.
Ooh.
Oh, what are we getting here?
That is a
That's Loran. Dodge the bullet there.
Loran of the Third Path. If Marat has to wait,
Marat's happy about his draws.
If he has to wait here, if he gives Mark a chance to untap, then that just complicates things so much because you get the draw.
Yes, but I don't think it's necessary. Marat's thinking about playing around removal, I think, because it doesn't know the order of his deck. If it just randomly starts. It has 2 cyclers, so I don't really think it matters actually.
Yeah, he could cycle in response.
Yes.
I guess.
Okay, so here we go. Drawing cards. There's Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, no, he just goes for it this turn, and that also works. Yes. And that's 2-1 for Marat.
That's the game. Yes.
Wow, very nice played.
Yes, I agree.
It's a surprising outcome. Again, wasn't sure what to expect out of this match, but
I would have put money on 2-0 for Marat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Good thing I didn't.
But for sure, Mark showing why Death and Taxes is still, after all these years, a deck worth considering.
Yeah.
Now we have some match results from some of the other tables.
Cool.
We have Casper on Saga Storm beating Maarten on Absent Depths 2-0. We have Gus with Initiative being beaten by Björn on Beans. Wow, Beans actually won against Initiative. That's
sorry, what?
Yeah, and just a clean 2-0. So interesting.
Sweet.
And then Tim on PO beating Alex on Cloudpost, which we kind of expected that one.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It looks like players are they cycling? Are they just going on with the rounds, or are they just playing for fun? I'm looking at the floor again, by the way.
Fair enough. I think we'll take a quick break. I'll go check on the tables. Everyone, thank you for coming. We still have 6 more rounds, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back